5 years ago, I reviewed Topping E50 DAC. Back then, they were using ESS9068 chip inside. It was instant hit for them. Hello everyone, welcome to Thabama Hi-Fi Review channel. Today I want to share my long-term experience of long-awaited second generation E50 DAC from Topping. What really Topping impressed me with this E52 is more features and functions such as 10-band PEQ, better chip, which is AKM4497, plus ADAT and high-res Bluetooth receiver, as well as Bluetooth-based app control system and everything that you can control through the app, as well as included remote control. So all those features and additional functions and everything combined without increasing a penny is most impressive thing. Build quality is as usual, similar to original E50, similar chassis design, similar layout. As you will see on the screen, this is internal design of circuit board layout of this E52. The AKM4497S is standalone single chip design. Everything else is pretty much you will get in this size and this price point of DAC. But this one has very good signal to noise ratio and dynamic range. So if you are using single-ended 126 dB or signal to noise ratio, 131 balanced TRS output, so which is incredibly good for this price point. This one do need external USB-C power supply. It has dedicated USB-C power port and data port as well. So Bluetooth app control system is working incredibly well. Let me demonstrate it for you. This one is Topping Home, and you will see E52 here. So I'm connecting right now, everything based on Bluetooth connection. So which is really good in my opinion. Even if you don't have internet, you can still use it. So that is great feature. This is main screen, and this side is digital inputs, 4 digital inputs and 2 analog output, or both analog output that you can choose. Right now I'm only using RCA output because I'm using my old Denon receiver. Main point of using this receiver is how we can revisit and rejuvenate original oldies, these kind of a vintage receiver. This one is probably like 23-4 years old. This is my first ever hi-fi or surround receiver that I purchased back in like 2003 or 4, somewhere around there. You can do on off from here. Let's turn it back on. Just instant on. This is gain control. Right now it's in fixed DAC mode. You can go change that in this setting. So if you go into the setting, this is input setting that you can change, and Bluetooth, aptX and everything. Plus this one is professional mixing DAC ready, meaning you can control using the optical ADAT cable in this one in 8-channel mode. So when you are mixing, you got additional 8-channel for your console using ADAT features that are available since 90s, I believe. That is from that ADAT is Alice's digital audio tape. So that is the original feature that they still uses in today's studio. So that is really, they put all the effort and features in this $199 component to give you wide variety of usage. Even your home studio or pro studio, you can add this Topping E52 easily. That is a significant improvements over previous generation. So ADAT is pretty much you can choose 48K standard or 4-channel, 8-channel, etc. So those, if you know pro audio a little bit, you are familiar with it. So that is the feature is good for pro and mixing people. So that is a very good option. input. This is same as the digital inputs in main screen. Then USB 1.0 backward compatible. Bluetooth, I enable it because I'm using Bluetooth app control. So that is input setting, output setting. These are all the output settings that are available. Right now I'm using RCA, so that is pretty much same as the main screen. This is digital filter. I'm using standard factory filter, short delay, sharp roll-off filter. And next one is DSD filter. I'm using standard filter. This is decoder mode. So decoder mode is you can choose preamp or dedicated DAC. So if you choose DAC, volume is fixed. So that is the one thing that really good option in my opinion. Next one is BEQ selection. I can enable it, disable it, 10 band BEQ. Generally, I don't use any EQ or BEQ. Next one is low and high output amplitude. You can get really good high output like 11.3 volt RMS for TRS balance and 5.6 volt RMS for RCA out. If you are using that high amplitude output, low is standard. I don't recommend going for high. It might kill your tweeter if it's not capable of, because the voltage can get pretty high, right? Standard is like 5.6 for TRS and 2.6 for RCA single ended. So stick with a low amplitude unless it requires, such as power monitors or pairing component has really low input, then you can use high output on that. And output mute, you can turn it on and off. That is the option that available. And next one is this advanced setting, remote control. I enable it. Auto power off, I disable it. You can enable it, disable it. That is great option. Screen brightness, you can change it to different setting. And medium setting as right now, and factory reset and system factory resets, so you can change all that. So those are all the options in advanced setting. I enable power on off through this app control system, and disconnect. You want to disconnect the service from this app, so I don't want to do that. Then version information and firmware, etc. Next one is this user guides that you can see here, instruction manual, etc. And next one that I like to go through is this BEQ. This is the newest feature. How nice the layout that you can see here. Better than many higher end price point components that offer. You got all the setting. I can enable it. Then I can change all these settings. Generally, I'm not EQ guy. I'm more of an acoustic and room tuning guy in general. So that is the features that are available. And let's hit this dot dot dot, and these are all the features. Left and right BEQ enable, import export. If you can import target graph or target tuning, input filter, and all the options that are available. I highly suggest you to read through the user manual configuration to get the best out of this E52. No one ever produced any component in this price point with these kind of features, period. I mean, this is a game changer. I mean, this is gonna be probably, some might call it giant killer in terms of feature, function, signal to noise ratio, dynamic range, as well as, and most importantly, the sound quality, right? Pairing it with AKM 4497S chip in this E52 makes it totally different than original E50 in sound quality, right? I will get to that later. So this is BEQ feature. Let's go back in, and this is custom settings, C1, C2, and EQ. You can, these are quick shortcut to EQ setting, etc. And filter changes to quick shortcut here. So volume control is a little harder to control. So generally, I just go through like this at the bottom, decreasing, increasing like this. And then decreasing, you have to use top portion of this round thing. So that's the only thing. So it's not like you can go around like this continuous touched on the screen. So that's the downside. Let me go back to output setting and fix to DAC only. I've been using this E52 right after Thanksgiving of last year. Basically, this is long-term review kind of thing. I started off on my desktop setup, monitoring my own voice. There is a slight playhead delay, which is like 3 milliseconds. Probably most people will not notice at all, even if you're watching movies. And if you are listening music, you won't know it. But if I'm monitoring on my desktop setup, USB-C cable connected to this top-end E52, right? I'm using standard 48K 24-bit resolution out of my Mac Studio output. But if I change it to oversample output, let's say 192K 32-bit floating, then our background is even more quieter, but the latency issue make it much more slower and more laggy than using standard 24-bit 48K output out of my Mac Studio. So I try those features. So if you are using standard 48K or 44.1K 24-bit, you may not notice it at all. Nothing major, just to clarify with you. And then when I moved it here to my streaming setup, I started off using it with, as many people will use, top-end Mini 300, and this E52 combination sounded incredibly good. Clean, precise, and transparent sound with very good dynamic attack and transparent notes across the frequency range and quiet background. Probably one of the most quietest, cleanest background ever I heard in this price point. I play it with CSS Audio 2 TDX towers, as well as I try it back to back with SMSL D200 DAC. So D200 also uses very same chip inside, AKM 4497 chip. When I try it back to back using very same Mini 300 amplifier, D200 take a few notches above in terms of noise control and refinement. So I was using just regular USB-C power adapter to this, but I'm not complaining. D200 is $120 more than E52. D200 doesn't have all the features like this E52 offer. So if you are debating which one to go with, if you want simple and purest approach, go with the D200. If you want all the features and app control system, this E52 is one and only option as of right now in this price point. Mini 300 is going to be natural pairing with this E52. Most of the people will consider that option, right? After I pair it with that Mini 300 combination, I decided to go with my 24 years old Denon AVR 3803 that uses Analog Devices Melody chip inside. So when I paired this E52 and this Denon combination, sound improvements and noise control, background clarity improvements are significantly noticeable. I'm using this Stock Sound Beta 5, my entry-level reference stand mount speakers in this setup. WeAmp Pro Streamer in that combination. I was streaming either Tidal or Spotify or UPnP streaming from my Sony Music server through WeAmp app and playing with this combination. So I went through all my playlists and I thoroughly enjoy the sound. So this top-end E52 can deliver good sound quality and sound signature with very nice precision notes in stereo image. Stereo image is improved when I change power supply to iFi silent power 5-volt power supply to this E52 instead of using it directly from this AVR with iPhone miniature charger. So that totally changes in terms of stereo image and precision notes, and layering and width of the sound staging is not as wide as I would like to be, but is acceptable as far as width of the soundscape. So it will go slightly a few feet from boundary of these towers, so it totally cover my listening area. Overall tonality is slightly richer side of neutral sound with good dynamic attack in bass and mid-range area. Power supply matters. If you give better power supply, it will give you more refined and more precision notes in overall sound reproduction. I mean, totally enjoyable sound. That's the whole point, right? Everyone is trying to increase the price without increasing the price, adding the more features and functions that come in this E52 is unheard of. E52 is great buy, my friend, at this price point or even up to like $250, $300 range of component that currently available. I can totally wholeheartedly recommend it for you to try it. That is the experience that I like to share with you. Thank you for watching. Happy listening.
Come into my solitude, though I weary be. Come into my tenderness, dream along with me. Listen to the whispers sing, listen to the singer shout. Come into my solitude, be my big mouth. Thoughts unspoken, thoughts unsaid, lies of hearth and home. Children broken on the bed and left to lie alone. Things you talk around, scum you choke on down. Come into my solitude, step on sacred ground. We were speaking of values and violence, breaking silence. Fathers who are lovers to the daughters that they own. Mothers who don't leave a child a single safe zone. People so unhinged that death is much too kind. Come into my solitude, step over that line. Thought I was the only one. Thought I was the only one. Thought I was the only one. Speaking of values and violence, breaking silence. Come to my solitude, welcome to the wheel. Come into this wonderland of winds that will not hail. Walls that do not speak, steps that do not sound. Come into my